Hello. Go ahead and come to a comfortable seated position at the front of your mat. Sit on a block or something that's a little higher so that your knees will be lower than your hips. You can stay in this position a lot longer because it doesn't hurt your knees. We're going to come together to make this sound that is healing therapy. The humming calms our central nervous system. It tells our body that we can relax, and it brings us to a state of calm. You can do this anytime, anywhere. It is scientifically proven to heal us through our own sound. Isn't that amazing? I think we should be practicing this more often. So, bring your palms together, press them into your chest, and together we are going to do 3 ongs. I have explained this repeatedly on past videos, and I'm not going to explain it again in this one, because that's a whole different video. So, take a deep inhalation. I bow to the rishis, yogis, and yoginis who came before us with their guidance and grace. May we begin this practice. Lift your chest as you slowly lift your head. Taking a deep inhalation and bringing the tops of your hands onto the tops of your thighs. Keeping that third eye focus. Feeling that third eye focus first. Maintaining it throughout your day. Coming back to this place anytime you need to feel that. And with that soft gaze, without looking at anything, slowly begin to open your eyes. Hopefully you closed your eyes. I forgot to instruct that part, but you should know that by now. So, now we're going to do a gentle twist. So let's first start with some shoulder rolls. 3 forward and 3 back. And then bringing your left hand onto your right knee, bringing your left hand behind you to prop yourself up. As you take a deep inhalation and exhale as you twist, looking over your shoulder and getting even your eyeball involved so that you're even looking over your shoulder. So you're getting a good eyeball stretch as well. Holding that for 3 breaths. And release and do the opposite side with the opposite hand behind you. Sitting up tall. Inhale as you look over your shoulder. Getting that eyeball stretching again. Do the same thing to each side every time I instruct, in case I forget something or don't want to repeat myself too much. And feel that in your spine. I do. It feels so good. Now we're going to do gentle Sufi grinds. So that's just rotating in your pelvis, sort of waking your pelvis up gently. Slow and gentle circles. Okay, now let's go to the opposite side. Great. And now, let's come off of our block and come on to our hands and knees. So when you plant your hands in any pose, I want you to be mindful of this. This is where I see people, especially beginners, do the most error. Because when you don't engage your hands, you're dumping all your weight into your wrists. And this goes for every pose. So once you start doing that as an automatic reaction when you put your hands down all the time, so that you're always engaged, no pose is relaxed. So I want you to look up and bend your spine towards the floor as you look up, and your pelvis up to the sky. And then opposite, as you exhale, bring your head in towards your pelvis, lifting as a rainbow. And then opposite, and keep doing this really nice and slowly, waking up your spine. Now if you want to go a little faster, you can, but you're marrying your breath to your movement. Each time you move up, you're inhaling, and when you come down, you exhale, or whichever one you want. Just make sure you're marrying the breath to the movement. So with each time you do it, you're inhaling or exhaling. Which means if you're going faster, you might do it differently. You might do one full inhale and then one exhale. I don't know. However you want to do it. But just be mindful of the movements with your breath. Okay. Now, press your feet, your toes into the floor, and lift up off your knees up off the floor into downward facing dog. Really planting your hands here as I've instructed earlier, so that your hands feel strong on the ground. Because I notice, especially with a lot of bendy people, that you don't engage and you drop all your weight into your wrists instead of engaging, being strong and working that engagement all the way up into your shoulders, so you're pulling your shoulders back as you lift your pelvis in the air, pressing the feet all the way to the floor so that you're getting your heels to the floor. If you need to walk in a little bit and do a shorter down dog to bring your heels to the floor, then do that. And as you're doing that, really engage by pushing into the floor with your heels, your toes, and your hands, lifting your pelvis into the sky and feeling that rotation of your pelvis as you lift it into the sky. And now step your right right foot between your hands, and lower your left knee to the floor. And now we're going to do a low lunge. I like to go into this slowly and open my hip flexor as I step. Just in this pose, you're opening this back leg's the hip flexor. You can feel it. So we all sit so much, and that as you sit, that hip flexor is always being engaged. It's really good to stretch that a little bit here. Just gently. You don't want to hurt it yourself, so don't do it too involved there. Just gentle, okay? And we're just warming up here, so you can feel the heel on the floor here, so that it allows your calf to get a good stretch here, just like you did in down dog. Now lift your arms up and look up between your palms. As you exhale, bring your palms back down to the floor. Slowly stepping yourself back into downward facing dog. And lifting up in down dog. So pressing your palms firmly into the floor as though you're holding a basketball. And lifting your pelvis up into the floor and rooting your feet down into the floor. And now bringing your left foot with an inhalation between your hands. Dropping that back knee And just staying here for one breath so you really feel that hip flexor get a gentle stretch, allowing it to open gently. And now with an inhale, come up. Let's cactus our arms to where we can feel our shoulder blades warming up on our back body here. Inhale, and as you exhale, lift your arms straight up and look between your palms. Yeah, feeling that rooting into the floor with your feet as you bring your palms back down and step back into down dog. Bring your right knee to your right elbow and hold it for a moment. One breath and back. Opposite side. One breath and back. Go ahead and come down into a gentle, soft chaturanga, bringing your pelvis to the floor, lifting your chest, pulling your shoulders back, and keeping your arms bent to do that so that you're really pushing your chest through your arms and pulling your shoulders back. Lifting up, not taking it all out in your neck, so your face and your chest are on the same plane. And exhale as you press back up into downward facing dog. Nice gentle stretch here. And now bring your foot between your hands again into a lunge. Lifting that back foot up off the floor, getting that nice flexion in your toes, and lifting up out of the pelvis, so you're not dumping your weight into the pelvis. Bringing your arms back into cactus. With an exhalation, lift your arms and look between them. Stay like this for 2 breaths. And exhale as you bring your palms back down, stepping back into down dog. And as you exhale, bring your foot between your hands again, coming back into the lunge with the opposite side. Again, flexion of the back toes, cactus arms, feeling the shoulder blades on your back body, engaging those shoulders. And with an exhale, lift your arms up, look between your hands. And bringing your palms back down, stepping back. Now we're going to go back into chaturanga. So just going slowly down, bringing your pelvis to the floor and lifting your chest, pulling your shoulders back, and your arms, with your arms pushing, your hands digging into the floor to pull your chest forward through your arms. And exhale as you come back up into down dog. Now we're going to step both feet forward, about hip widths apart, and come to Ardha Uttanasana, which is half forward fold. And now walk yourself if you can. If you can't, use your block and stay here. If you need 2 blocks, use your blocks and stay here. What we don't want is the rounding back. That's going to break your back. You can see mine. That's not what you want in life, ever. It's never, ever how you want your back. Not unless you're a really experienced yogi and you do it for fun. That is very bad for your vertebrae. So that's why I say bring yourself on a block so that you don't round your back, ever. So it's very hard to do, trust me. I'm still accidentally catching myself doing it even after all these 25 years of training. So exhale and fold in deeper if you can, if you don't need the blocks. Release the neck, lifting the quads to engage your thigh muscles. Whatever you do, do not be lazy here. Engage your thighs, engage your legs, press into the floor with your feet to lift your quads, to engage your quads. And come up to a full stand. Looking up between your palms. As you exhale, lower your arms down to your side. Once again, lift your arms and look between your palms. Bend over. As I said before, only as deep as you can go. Place your palms on the floor and step back into downward facing dog. Come into chaturanga. Lower the pelvis. Lifting your chest. I like to take a couple breaths here because it's kind of hard to really bend your upper back in this. Is your first back bend. And push back into down dog. And now bringing your right foot between your hands and bringing your back leg in alignment with that front heel so that the middle of your foot meets the heel. And come up into warrior two with a bent knee. And that back foot is slightly turning inward. And you feel the razor edge of the foot pressing into the mat, as well as the toe. Toes of both of your feet pressing into the mat. One more deep inhalation here. See if you can go a little deeper. And let's go into Parsvokondasana. So place your palm. If you need a block here, this is where you put it. And rotate. You can also come up with your elbow on your thigh. Let's just all do that for this first one. Come up with your elbow on your thigh. Lengthen your arm up, over, around, as though you're reaching for something behind you. Really work that shoulder in the socket. And now if you want to go deeper, you can bring that hand back down to the floor. Feeling the length in that side body from the razor edge of your foot all the way to the fingertips. You feel that lengthening. One more breath. And come back into downward facing dog. Well, actually, just place your palms and pull your leg back. So yeah, you end up in down dog, but only for a breath. While you bring your other foot between your hands, aligning that back foot again. And if you want to know how wide you should be, bring your arms out and your ankles should be underneath your wrists. That's how wide you should be. If you're not wide enough, it's going to cause problems in your poses. And remember that back foot is angled slightly inward. You've already been here for a couple breaths, so now take a deep breath and go deeper into the pose. Really feel it. And with an exhalation, place your palm on the block. Or actually, let's do the adjustment on the thigh. And now engaging that back arm up and around and over. And engaging that shoulder in the socket as though you're trying to reach for something behind you. And now place that palm on the ground if you want to go deeper. Really lengthening from the razor edge of your foot all the way to the fingertips, feeling that length of your body. Rotating that shoulder in the socket. One more breath. And back into downward dog. Very good. Now let's step our feet between our hands again. Ardha Uttanasana. And stand up again. Looking up between your palms for a breath. As you exhale, lower your hands. And as you inhale again, raise your arms up, looking between your palms again. And bending over. And coming out halfway to place your palms and go into chaturanga by either jumping back or stepping back. And then lower your pelvis to the floor, pulling your shoulders back, and lift up into down dog again.